Hey, DJ Mikey Mike in Direct Sound, and we are doing it from scratch today. That's right, we're doing it from scratch with my Visi spots from American DJ. Now, these are the 5R version. These are the ones with the Philips discharge lamp that is just amazing. Now, these fixtures are so cool, I'm telling you, I'm still giddy about these things. But I haven't got to use them quite often because they're not set up with my Gobo configuration that I normally use. Well, I've been working really hard with Roscoe and a couple Gobo manufacturers trying to get the perfect Gobo size out of these. Now, American DJ calls out an 8mm viewable image. And when I ordered my Gobos, I did a little bit of research and I was able to get them a little bit larger. Now, larger as in, millimeters, as in 2.5 millimeters larger, which is not very much, but it's actually about 25% larger, which is actually quite a bit. So it's 8mm viewable on the American DJ website. That gives them their the clarity that they want, and that's within their limits that they wanted to call out. Now, I don't know if they got that from the manufacturer or if they came up with that themselves. I'm not really sure. But what I did is a little bit of research and development, and I was able to punch out that Gobo to 10.5 millimeters. Now, I've been having a lot of issues getting Roscoe to cut the Gobo. One, they don't like to cut out 8mm Gobos. They think they're just too small. Now, they can do it, but they're limited on the designs that you can use. So what I've done is I've worked with them really close, and I'm able to get the millimeters up a little bit more. So you guys, if you were going to order these fixtures, you have a lot more potential to get custom Gobos and a little bit, use a little more unique designs. So let me show you what we got here. Now, this right here, we're going to the animals here today because this right here is, I don't know if you can see that. You see that? It's an 6-star DJ shirt. Here we go. This is an elephant. Okay. Now, this Gobo right here is out of my AccuSpot. Okay. This is out of my Source 4 Junior. Now, look at the difference in real estate common to these two Gobos. Okay, pretty big difference, right? Well, check this out. That's my AccuSpot. And this is my Visi spot. Look at the difference in Gobo size. I don't know if I can show you that. It's really hard. The Gobo in this elephant right here, it's like a mama elephant and a baby elephant. I mean, that's how big of a difference it is. These are about, a third of the size of the AccuSpot, which is a third of the size of the Source 4. So, now, on this particular Gobo here is pretty small. This is an 8mm cut Gobo. Okay, the viewable size on this particular Gobo is 8mm. And I'll show you the difference in a 10.5 millimeter viewable size. Let's see if you can see that. Yeah, the lighting is really bad in here. Let me try to turn the camera on. Okay. This one here is the 10mm to the inner dimension. This is a 10mm viewable, and this is an 8mm viewable. See the difference in size in the Gobo? Not the outer dimension, but the inner image. It's very hard to see, but you'll get the picture if you can get a good glimpse of that. It's quite a bit of difference. So what this is going to do is going to give our image size on the wall a lot bigger. We're going to get about 25% more viewable image on the wall. All right, so these are the tiny little Gobos that we have to deal with this Visi Spot 5R. Now, that's not a problem being the size of the Gobo that they are. These things have 575 watts of pure power, man. They're punching out some serious light. But they only have 160 watts of draw out of the wall, which is incredible. I mean, they have, these things are so green, it's crazy, especially with 575 watt punch. That's great. But they really need this small Gobo. According to Chuck Green from Under the Hood, told me all about this fixture. He told me that this thing is completely designed with the lensing for these small Gobos. So that's not a problem, but what we need to do is be able to design the best design we can on such small real estate. And we're able to do that going from 8mm to 10.5 millimeter. So we're going to load this Gobo up into the fixture. Matter of fact, I'm going to load both of them up, and you're going to be able to see the difference. All right, Gobo changeout's pretty easy in these things. They have kind of a slot Gobo to where you pop it in and out, a quick release style Gobo. So it still has a spring inside the quick release, but it's still easier to get to. For those of you with these fixtures, it's pretty easy. Let me show you. All you have to do is grab the Gobo with a small pair of pliers, bend down, grab the tip, bend down just a tiny bit, and pull it straight out, and there's your Gobo. There's a small retainer spring holding the Gobo in. Pull the retainer spring out and place in your Gobo. So right here, we have our Gobo holder. We got a few stars on this one. Now these are cut to the 10.5 millimeter size. Now sometimes when you get your Gobos from the manufacturer, they have a little tiny tabs on the Gobo still. Take a small file, a metal file, and file off the tabs just a tiny bit. That way it'll ensure a perfect fit into your Gobo holder without bending the Gobo when you slide it in. Just feel with your finger if there's any little sharp edges. Be careful you don't cut yourself. Just in the process of cutting the Gobos, the little tabs end up staying there. I believe that's how they keep them in the metal while they're cutting. All right, and then that just slides right into the Gobo holder. Pops right in. Slide it in, make sure it's flush with the back, nice and flush, and then put your spring in. You got a little black spring. Now this is the tricky part. When you're putting your springs in, these things can go flying all over the place. So it's best to do it in a not so busy area, I should say. Like a messy garage or a place where people are around. Okay, so your spring is in. Push on the back of your Gobo out, placing your finger over the top of the spring in case it goes flying, and push just slightly to ensure that the spring is set in the area properly. Double check to make sure it doesn't look weird or anything's out of place. Kind of jiggle on it a little bit. Because if these springs go flying, they're going to get stuck inside your mechanism, inside your moving head, and you're going to cause damage, and that's going to be bad. So, looks like we have a flush Gobo ready to go. If you have multiple fixtures, make sure you're putting these in the same slots as your other Gobos. It sounds kind of common, but you might forget. So make sure you line up your Gobos, count them as you go along to make sure they're in the same area as your other Gobos. And they all match up. And to put your Gobos back in, slide it into the Gobo slot. And there's a little tab in the back that you have to fit the Gobo holder underneath. Push down gently. At the same time you're pulling forward, you're pushing down, and then it'll slide and snap back into place. And you'll notice it basically just snaps right in. Once you get it in place, spin the gear mechanism to ensure that you're not having any binding conditions. And that's how you replace your Gobo. So I have a few Gobos to replace here. We're going to get the elephants in both fixtures, the different size elephants, to show you the difference in an 8 mil compared to a 10.5 mil. And that's going to be a great comparison. Okay, I made one small mistake. Now, not doing the Gobos one at a time, which is not a good thing. This particular Gobo here has a small little rivet or a little tab on it. Now, this is for centering or indexing, so it knows exactly where it's at when it's spinning around in the Gobo holder. So I got to make sure that goes back in the right location because I'm not sure if that's an issue. So what I need to do is I need to swap these two Gobos with the proper indicators. Alright, there's the difference in size between an 8 mil and a 10.5 millimeter. Now it looks like they cut my Gobo just a little big on the viewable size on the 10.5. Looks like they went out to 11. Now behind me you can see the difference in elephants. Now that's an 8mm Gobo. That's a stock standard size. It goes in the VisiSpot 5R. Now what this is here, I measured it. It's about 11mm. It's about 0.5 millimeters off, which is critical in these things. They have to be precise, or you're going to get a little overspillage. As you can see, the trunk's getting cut off just a tiny bit, but you can still tell it's an elephant. Not a problem. I think I can run this for the show. And it gives me a little bit of difference in sizes too, which is kind of cool. So anyway, so what we have here is we have an 8mm viewable, and this is cut to 11, not 10.5. I measured it out, so we're a little bit large on the Gobo, but we're going to go with it anyway. All right, to be on the safe side, if you're going to cut your Gobos larger than 8mm, I would go. Since we're having an issue, this particular Gobo was cut from Apollo. Looks like they went a little bit large and went to went to 11, and I called out a 10.5 mil. Maybe they can't go to 10.5, so I would go one step down and go to a 10. That'll still give you a bigger Gobo than the smaller elephant. So you're getting about 25% bigger elephant. It almost looks like half a bigger elephant. Looks like about 50% larger, but it's about 25%. Okay, now here's a rose breakup. Now as you can see, just the edge of the rose right here on the very corner is starting to fade out just a little tiny bit. Now that's not a problem, but they cut this Gobo just a tiny bit large. So you can see how much actual viewable area you do have on this particular Gobo. That Gobo is cut to 11 mil. So at 10.5 is the perfect dimension. 11 mil is a little bit big. If you went 10, you'd be extremely on the safe side. And I would order my Gobos from now on at 13.5 outer dimension, 10mm inner dimension, viewable size. Elephants look awesome. They're going to look great going around the room. Pretty darn cool. With some indexing programs, I think we can actually make the elephants walk around the room. So with American DJ's Visi 5Rs, a little Gobo adjustment, we just got about 25% larger Gobos out of our Gobos here. Really, really cool Gobos. Really, really cool fixture. I'm in love with these things. These are amazing. For those of you considering getting a moving head fixture, I would highly recommend the Visi 5Rs. That's right, this is DJ Mikey Mike with Direct Sound with the Visi 5R from American DJ. I'm telling you, these things are incredible. With that 575 watts of punch and only 160 watts out of the wall, man, I'm telling you, this is a green fixture if I've ever seen one. And these are putting some of the big boys out of business. I'm telling you, these things with this new Phillips lamp, wow, big time. They are cool. DJ Mikey Mike doing a little research and development in the Gobo department. We got them punched up from 8mm to 10.5. Get yourself some great looking Gobos. All right, DJ Mikey Mike with Direct Sound. Peace.